If you're moving to the Salt Lake area, you're in the right place because today we're diving into one of my most asked questions. What are the most favorited suburbs around Salt Lake City? I'm going to tell you the top 5 suburbs for people relocating to Salt Lake City based on a mix of convenience, quality of life, amenities, and access to jobs and recreation. I'm Sarah Lipich, and this is Destination Salt Lake City. I own a local real estate brokerage and help families relocate here every single week. I get calls and texts every day from people just like you moving to Salt Lake City. So call or text me today at the number on the screen. Whether you're moving in 8 weeks or 8 months, I'd love to help make your move a smooth transition. And by the way, I put together my free Salt Lake relocation toolkit. It's the exact tools and links I give my clients to make moving here so much easier. Just scan the QR code on your screen, or if you're on your phone, tap the link in the description below. Let's jump in. Number 1, Sandy. This is a well-rounded suburb just south of Salt Lake City and on the east side of the I-15 corridor, and it's close to everything. So in Sandy, you're about 20 minutes to downtown Salt Lake, 30 minutes to the airport, and in some parts even less than that, and 20 minutes to Lehigh, which is the tech hub called the Silicon Slopes. Think of employers like Adobe and Microsoft. Now in Sandy, you're also right at the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon and super close to Big Cottonwood Canyon, which means you have 4 ski resorts at your fingertips on top of every trailhead you can imagine. It also has convenient access to dozens of major employers and other amenities like Target, REI, and a mall. And if you're into soccer, it's also where the Salt Lake Real play. They also just gained the practice facility for the Utah Mammoth, which is our NHL team. So in Sandy, you'll find a good variety of housing, anything from 1970s split entry homes to newer builds. Now the median home price in Sandy for a 3-bed, 2 to 3 bath single family home was around $575,000 in Q3 of 2025, with a total median home price of $660,000 for all single family homes. Let's talk snowfall because this is a big factor for people, love it or hate it. So like I said, Sandy is on the east side of the I-15 corridor, so it's gonna be a little heavier with snowfall, especially as you get further east and closer to the bench. The average annual snowfall is about 61 inches, but that doesn't mean the snow will stick around for the entire winter. Almost everywhere, it'll melt within a few days until the next snowfall dumps some more. Number 2, Draper. Draper is a fast-growing upscale suburb with a variety of things that make it stand out. So first with the basics, it's on the east side of I-15. You're about 25 minutes to downtown Salt Lake City. You're looking at about 30 minutes to the airport and 15 to 20 minutes to Lehigh. It actually borders both Lehigh, which is to the south, and Sandy up to the north. Every amenity in Sandy that I just mentioned, just add maybe 5 or 10 minutes to the drive. You're still super close to Little Cottonwood Canyon and Draper. There are tons of restaurant options here too. Because Draper is a newer suburb, its development hasn't been around for too long. So most of the houses you'll find, aside from some of the original farmhouses, were built in 2000 or newer. There are actually a ton of newer built homes in the Draper area. One unique thing is that Draper is known for its paragliding, specifically a launch spot on Point of the Mountain. It's also got some renowned mountain biking. There are tons of mountain bike trails in Draper, along with a mountain bike park. Now Draper is both in Salt Lake County and Utah County. You'll find lower property taxes on the Utah County side, and most of that is up on the bench in Draper where the Suncrest neighborhood is. I'll jump in and talk about Suncrest really quick because this neighborhood is really unique. So it's about a 5 or so minute drive up a winding road before you reach the community. It feels very tucked away and out of the busy Salt Lake chaos. It does get a lot more snowfall than pretty much anywhere else in the metro area because it sits at around 6,000 feet of elevation, and the snowfall tends to stick around all winter long. It is so unique that one of the residents actually manages a high-end live weather station just for the neighborhood at suncrestweather.com. He reports the average snowfall for the community is around 132 inches annually. This neighborhood has prime access to those mountain bike trails, hiking trails, and the community puts on loads of events throughout the year. Now back down the hill, the rest of Draper, the average snowfall sits at about 60 inches annually. And the difference in snowfall in Suncrest versus the rest of Draper is because the Suncrest altitude and how the storms sort of get stuck in the mountains, but not in the valley. Now for home prices. The median home price in Draper for a 3-bed, 2 to 3 bath single family home was around $660,000 in Q3 of 2025, with a total median home price of $1,040,000 for all single family homes. Number 3, Holladay. Holladay is one of the most established suburbs in the Salt Lake Valley. It has this quiet, tree-lined charm that gives it a totally different vibe than the newer master-planned suburbs. It's located just southeast of Salt Lake City, and you're only about 15 minutes to downtown and 20 minutes to the airport, depending on traffic. What really sets Holladay apart is the vibe. It's got a more historic and mature feel. The homes here are not cookie cutter. You'll find everything from mid-century moderns to renovated brick colonials and even full-blown mountain estates tucked right up against those foothills. Holladay has character. You're also super close to Mill Creek Canyon, which makes Holladay a favorite for hikers and trail runners. And it's just a quick hop to Big Cottonwood Canyon for skiing, and only 10 minutes from I-80, which takes you up to Park City. So if skiing or snowboarding is your thing, then that access is a huge win. Quick reminder before we continue. If you're planning your move here, don't forget to grab my free Salt Lake relocation toolkit. The QR code's on the screen again, or just tap the link in the description. Now, as far as amenities go, there's a lot that locals love, from cute coffee shops to great restaurants, and a more intimate neighborhood feel. It also has a bit of walkability that's missing from most of the suburbs in Salt Lake. It doesn't really have that big commercial core like, say, Sandy or Draper, but that's kind of the point. It feels tucked away without being far from anything. So median home price in Holladay for a 3-bed, 2 to 3 bath single family home in Q3 of 2025 was around $800,000, with a total median home price of $947,000 for all single family homes. Now for snowfall, that depends on how close you are to the mountains, but on average, you're looking at about 70 inches per year in most parts of Holladay, and even more the closer you get to Olympus Cove or the higher elevations near the base of the canyon. Number 4, Farmington. Farmington is up north of Salt Lake City in Davis County. It's about 25 minutes to downtown Salt Lake, less than 20 minutes to the airport, and around 20 minutes to Hill Air Force Base, which makes it a favorite for people who need to get to Hill Air Force Base or other major government contractors, or really anyone needing to get to Salt Lake or the airport. It's kind of that perfect middle point, and traffic to and from Salt Lake during rush hour isn't too bad compared to places like Sandy and Draper. Davis County also has lower property taxes than Salt Lake County. Now, what makes Farmington stand out is that it's got this small town feel, but it's still super connected. You've got Station Park, which is a nice outdoor shopping center with places like Lululemon, Evereve, and other shops and restaurants. Station Park also has a movie theater, a gym, a grocery store, a hotel, and even a commuter rail station, which connects you directly to Salt Lake or Ogden. It's also right off of I-15, both on the east side and the west side. So for a suburb, it actually feels pretty self-contained. As far as housing goes, most of the neighborhoods here are newer. They're built in the 2000s and on. There's a good mix of townhomes, single-family homes, and larger properties on the bench in the foothills if you want something more elevated and with views. Now, the median home price in Farmington for a 3-bed, 2 to 3 bath single-family home in Q3 of 2025 was around $566,000, with a total median home price of $735,000 for all single-family homes. For snowfall, Farmington sits lower in elevation compared to some of the other bench areas, so if you're looking at around 50 inches of snowfall per year, depending on where you are. Some of the east side neighborhoods, that can creep up a little bit higher than that. But generally, the snow doesn't stick around super long. Side note, that's pretty much the trend for all of the Salt Lake Metro. The further east and higher in elevation you go, the more annual snowfall. Number 5, Cottonwood Heights. Cottonwood Heights is a city that sits right between Big and Little Cottonwood Canyon. You're going to be right in the center of access to 4 ski resorts: Alta, Snowbird, Brighton, and Solitude. So if you're the kind of person who wants to finish work early and be on the slopes 20 minutes later, then this is probably your spot. It's located just north of Sandy and south of Holladay, south of Salt Lake, and it's about 20 minutes to downtown Salt Lake and around 25 minutes to the airport. So you're still totally connected, but with a more mountain feel. Now the neighborhoods here are a mix of, say, 1960s to 1980s homes with big yards and mature trees, but there's still a lot of 90s and early 2000s homes too. There are also some new builds and remodeled properties in there as well. It's definitely a more established area. Cottonwood Heights is super popular with skiers, snowboarders, hikers, and climbers. Now, families who want the perks of suburban life with a lot more scenery and less sprawl, they also tend to thrive in Cottonwood Heights. It really has that perfect blend of access and peace. Snowfall is a little heavier here, especially as you get closer to the east side up on the bench near the mouth of the canyons. So you're looking at 80 or more inches annually in some areas, and yes, it can stick around longer through the winter. The median home price in Cottonwood Heights for a 3-bed, 2 to 3 bath single family home in Q3 of 2025 was around $715,000, with a total median home price of $850,000 for all single family homes. Number 6, Daybreak in South Jordan. So Daybreak is one of the most unique communities in the Salt Lake Valley. It's a master plan development located in South Jordan, and it's designed around the idea that you can live, work, and play all in one place without having to leave the neighborhood for every little thing. It's also pretty walkable with tons of local restaurants and shops. You're about 30 minutes to downtown Salt Lake and 25 minutes to Lehigh, depending on traffic. So if you're commuting either north or south, you're kind of right in the middle. You're also about 25 minutes from the airport. Now, what makes Daybreak different from everywhere else on this list is the intentional layout. It's walkable by design. The trails, parks, schools, and shopping are all woven right into the community. There's even a lake in the middle called Okur Lake, where you can kayak, paddleboard, or you can just walk the shoreline. Daybreak is also where the new Stadium District is, which is home to the Salt Lake Bees, our minor league baseball team for the Los Angeles Angels. Plus, it has a whole new downtown vibe with restaurants, retail, and entertainment. It's really becoming its own little hub. Now, housing here is newer, and most homes were built starting around 2005 or newer. You'll see colorful craftsman-style homes, townhomes, condos, and even luxury homes along the lakefront. It has a very distinct look, and you can tell when you're driving into Daybreak because everything feels clean, intentional, charming, and community-focused. Now, one thing to note about Daybreak specific housing is that the backyards are going to be a bit smaller, and this is intentional. So the idea behind the design is having a sense of community and actually using the common spaces outside. The median home price in Daybreak for a 3-bed, 2 to 3 bath single family home was around $605,000 in Q3 of 2025, with a total median home price of $700,000 for all single family homes. Snowfall-wise, Daybreak sits on the west side of the valley, so it's a little lower in elevation, and it gets less snow than places like Sandy or Draper. You're looking at around 40 inches per year, and it usually melts pretty quickly. As you can see, whether you're drawn to mountain views, master planned living, or an easy commute to the slopes or the city, Salt Lake suburbs have something for everyone. Now it's time to narrow down what the best fit for you is. And that's where I come in. Whether you're moving in 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, call or text me at the number on the screen. My husband Tyler and I help relocating buyers every week line up the right neighborhoods and homes while steering clear of costly mistakes. And we'd love to help you do the same. Now, if you haven't already, grab my free relocation toolkit. It's linked in the description below and at the QR on the screen. And again, it's the exact set of tools I give my clients to make moving here so much easier. If this video was helpful, hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.